My name is Jacob, and joining me as always is Zane, and we're back 2 weeks in a row with video. We're still trying to work through some of the kinks. We spent another 45 minutes before this podcast
Yeah.
trying to make it a little bit better. We'll get there eventually, but I think we're doing good for fresh to the video podcasting genre of podcasters. So it's exciting. It makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
We had a great turnout with some of our shorts that we did the past week. And then we had our most viewed YouTube video ever with our last podcast. So it seems to be working. We'll take that.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what is that? An increase of probably 200% on listens for the downloads on YouTube for sure. And then guys blew me away with the YouTube shorts having over 3,000 watches across 2 shorts. So that was absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking that out. That was really encouraging to see for a first outing. So I love it. If you guys like it, which your views are telling us you are, we're going to keep doing it. So
for sure. Now, this is going to be a fun episode of the podcast because we have the two titans of superheroes that we're going to be talking about. We have some Marvel stuff that we may have overreacted to a little bit last podcast episode that we might need to take a few steps back on. And then we had a big DC announcement. So lots of fun stuff to talk about. But Zane, before we get into any of that, how are you doing?
Oh man, I am doing so good. Had an awesome weekend. We had my wife had a women's conference at the church that she got to attend, which was good. Which means I had kid duty. So me and the kids, we got to hang out, chill. We actually watched the Lilo and Stitch movie on Saturday for live action. Came to Disney Plus, so that was the first time we watched that. And then I went to a golf store. I broke my 5-iron about 6 years ago, and on a backswing, man, I raised up and I went to go chop it, and I guess it had a little dent in the shaft or something, and it snapped during my backswing. And I've been so frustrated that happened. I haven't got it fixed. So I've been playing with a 4-iron and a 6-iron and no 5-iron. It's really not good. But I finally went and got that fixed on Saturday with the kids. They had a fun time walking around the golf store with me. And then church on Sunday was great. I actually got to go to a Jags game after church. So that was neat. My first NFL game ever in person. So thanks, Zach, for the tickets. That was awesome. So, but yeah, what about you?
NFL games are awesome. I went to my second one last year for the Jets and Jaguars game, and we'll be going again this year for the Jets and Jaguars. So pumped about that. My Sunday was not as fun as yours because I did have my tire pop on my way to church that morning. So I got that cleaned up pretty quick. Honestly, I got it switched out, but I was so sweaty and so gross after switching out this tire. I was like, "There's no way I'm walking in the shirt my shirt was literally covered in sweat. I was like, I can't go in church like this. Like everyone's gonna be staring at me. I was literally dripping sweat while I was switching this tire. First time I've had to change a tire in Florida heat, and it gets to you. It definitely gets to you.
And it wasn't cool on Sunday.
No, it was a hot Sunday. So other than that, though, it's been fun. Great week last week. So excited for this upcoming week. I think we've talked a little bit about my insurance exam that I've been studying for. I have my final exam this upcoming week, so hopefully that goes smoothly and I can put all this studying behind me because I'm so sick of studying. Studying is my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah, man, I have so many people that go back and do college and do other stuff, and it's like, yeah, the only thing I'm studying for now is Christ. Like I'm going to be doing my Bible studies. I'm going to study for Connect Group. I'll do all of that deep dives. But as far as career, everything else, I think I'm polished on it. Unless I just desire to go and hone a skill, which I'll study for that all the time. But school tests, I'm done. I think I'm done.
I feel that. Well, Zane, let's get into some of our topics today. And let's start off with probably the thing that everyone that had watched last week's podcast might be clowning us a little bit about. And that's Marvel Zombies. So we both had a lot to say about it. None of it was positive. And then we both watched the trailer. And I'll start off. I was blown away. I literally was like, I can't believe I talked as much trash about Marvel Zombies as I did. It looks awesome. It kind of has everything I want for that type of a animated show. It's got, lots of action, it looks like. It's got the gore. It's got, the zombie horror aspect to it. It looked awesome. And I'll be the first to admit, I might have been wrong with this one, but Zane, what do you think about the Marvel Zombies trailer we got?
So I will take back a little bit of what I said. It definitely looks way better than what I had anticipated or expected. However, like the first clip I got was um it was Blade killing the Wasp, I believe, is
Mhm.
what he does in that trailer. And so it was like that was the first I saw before I got a notification or anything that the trailer had dropped. I saw a clip of him doing that and I was like, "See, this is what I was talking about. We need a Blade show." And then I was like, "Wait, this is Marvel Zombies?" And
Yeah.
so I was like, "Okay." And then to find out that he's going to be the Fist of Khonshu, Moon Knight variant of Blade, which is an odd choice before we get our MCU Blade, which was my thought. I'm like, we haven't got Blade, and we're getting a variation of Blade before we get the actual Blade in the MCU. So I thought that was slightly strange, but it looked good. We got him farming out there. We got Spidey ripping off like
Yeah.
17 zombies at a time. And the teams look cool. I
Yep.
love that we're getting Red Guardian and Yelena. I think we need more time with those characters because that does seem like the foundation of what we're getting moving forward. So I like that they're not zombies in this. So it's interesting. And I think Shang-Chi, it is a pure injustice to the uh, comic book community that we don't have a Shang-Chi 2 yet. So I am glad that they are at least putting him in these animated projects. You know, he was in What If, and now we're gonna get him in Marvel Zombies, but we really need him in live action. So I was wrong. Marvel Zombies looks like a decent project as of now, but trailers can fool you. So don't like
Yep.
I'm not saying it's gonna be good, but as of now, I'm thinking it looks pretty good.
Yeah, when I saw the blade thing and he's just like, it's just so cool. He does like the stab behind his back. I was like, ah, they got me. They got me. I'm sold. And then he like, I was like, but wait, it's a zombie. It shouldn't die from getting stabbed like through the chest like that. And then you see him like rip it up through the chest and just like chop it. I was like, oh, I'm good. And then you see that awesome scene with Spider-Man jumping over all of the zombies. You see little webs attaching to their head, and he just rips them all. I was like, yep, I'm sold. I was like, I
Okay.
need to get a Marvel Zombies t-shirt. I need to start collecting the Marvel Zombies Funko Pops. They need to make a Marvel Zombies Lego set. I'm sold. So I'm pumped about it. I think it's going to be really good. It looks, the quality of the animation is one thing that impressed me. I
Mm.
didn't expect it to look as, it obviously is going to look clear and all that stuff, but like the dark vibe to it, but it not being so dark that you can't see what's on the screen. I really like that, especially for this type of project.
Yeah, it definitely carried over what I think those What If vibe animations were, which I really liked the What If animation. Uh, that was something I never harped on during that, is that I always thought it looked good. It wasn't the 3D poppy animation, like it kind of had some 2D retro vibes to it. Um, but I thought I did think it looked good. The animation looked good, but yeah, dude. It may be a little like I was not expecting the trailer to be as violent as the trailer was, because that dude, that thing, I was like, okay, I feel like they should have put like a little warning on this, and they did, but it was as someone's head was getting chopped in half. Like they were like, axe to the head, splits in half. Hey, by the way, this is TVMA, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay,
Yeah, couldn't tell that from a couple seconds ago.
yeah,
But no, I'm pumped. I just think this is kind of something that I think what's got me so excited about is I wasn't expecting to be excited about it. You know, people always say with go into low expectations and let something surprise you. I think
yeah.
that's where I am with this. I think you're probably in the same boat. We both kind of expected this to just be like a throwaway animated show, not something we were super excited for. But now that we've seen the trailer, we're both kind of like, okay, maybe there is something here.
Now, they have already done this to us one time this year, though, already.
Yeah.
There was a trailer that came out that me and you both were like, this show's gonna be meh. And then the trailer dropped, and we were both like, oh, it's gonna be great. And that was Echo.
Yep. Yep.
And we got duped.
Here's the thing though. I don't think they could do it to us two times in the same year. Now, I might be wrong. I could be very wrong, but that would be really, really bad. So, if this is another Echo, Oh man, I don't know that I'll watch another Marvel project until Spider-Man. Like I don't
Yeah.
care what else they have slated to come out, but now one thing I do know that you actually I realized I was looking back at our text that you sent us the other day and I completely forgot to respond to it. Was you mentioned that there was a rumor with the Vision Quest, like a theory going around with like what the storyline was going to be. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so on the Vision Quest, there's a they just started filming this and they let him know like, hey, this is we got the logo, so they got set photos of the clean suit, and they actually think that Vision is going to be leading a team in Doctor Doom of West Coast Avengers. And
Okay.
so that would be setting up him and Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye, and getting a few of those West Coast Avengers to form the team so that we would have another Avengers team in Doomsday. And so that kind of ties into Kevin Feige saying this is the beginning of something and not the end of something. So this would be like the formation of this team. We have the formation of Sam's team. We have the formation of Yelena's team, all going forward. And so I'm curious if they're going to do that, because I don't know when it's supposed to drop next year, apparently, but I don't know when Vision Quest is supposed to drop. Probably later next year. So we get Spider Man, then Vision Quest, then Doomsday. So if that is the point of Vision Quest, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, it probably would be good to establish another team or two before we do get to Doomsday because, like, what do we have as of right now? We have, I guess, the original Avengers, Sam's Avengers. We have like Yelena's new Avengers. I guess we'll have the Fantastic Four as a team. So I could see us needing to fill out a couple of more places there. I would be more so interested to see like what they comprise the West Coast Avengers of. You know, you mentioned like Haley Steinfeld's character. I would wonder if like
Yeah.
maybe Moon Knight slips in there because he has been a part of the West Coast Avengers in the past.
Yeah.
But I feel like we would have heard some leaks about Oscar Isaac maybe reprising the role as Moon Knight at this point if they're starting to get out some of that stuff about, you know, what Vision Quest will consist of.
And I think this was just a complete rumor. I'm not
Okay.
sure because Haley Steinfeld's based in, or I keep saying her name, but Hawkeye is based in New York.
Yeah.
That's where she's at. So unless she moved to the West Coast, I don't
Yeah, it wouldn't make
know.
much sense.
Yeah, and then we know that Miss Marvel was talking to her about it in her own show, like, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a team. So, and but those are on both East Coast. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a West Coast style on like from for those characters, and maybe Vision
Yeah.
kind of leads the young Avengers, and we get to see all of them form up. But I'm not too sure on it. But it was
Is
just
that
quick theory I saw.
is that a storyline you would like to see happen with the Vision Quest, or is there something else you'd rather them explore there?
I honestly, I kind of, if we can get a strong like theological like mentor for some of these younger people coming up, I think that's actually a great foundation to give them some structure and something to go to as they develop up, if it's like a young Avengers. So I think that's a good spot for Vision to be. He'll be a leader, he'll be a mentor, and then we'll get to see and like have the dynamics of how these teenagers to young adults start to deal with the violence, with the saving, with the crime, and all that justification, while also having a mentor. I think it's actually a pretty good storyline that they could pull from, but it just depends on what they do with it.
Do you think Vision is like a good leader? Because when I think of Vision, I don't really think of him leading a team. Like I kind of always think of the Ultron, Avengers: Age of Ultron, you know, Vision that we get, where he kind of is just too smart to be a leader, and he doesn't really want to be that person that's telling others what to do. He just wants to do his own thing. We kind of see that a little bit when he hunts down that last Ultron bot, and he's kind of talking to it a little bit, and like he just doesn't really strike me as, you know, a Captain America. You know, either, you know, Chris Evans or, you know, Bucky, you know, any of those guys. I don't really see him as a leader in that way. I know this is kind of a different version of Vision than what we've seen in the past, but I wonder how that would play into. I get what you're saying about being a mentor and stuff, but he almost just seems too smart to do that, if that makes sense.
No, I would agree with that. I almost, and maybe leader's the wrong word. Maybe like moral base or moral compass for the group would be
Okay.
a better word to be used in that moment, because I definitely think that's an option. I definitely think he could uh, be a structure or like a foundation for the team. Maybe not a leader. I definitely think Hawkeye is the natural lead for that team.
Because
But
Vision to me, I almost think of like a college professor, right? Like he's not going to do it for you. He's not going to actually join in on the project, but he's going to like
exactly,
try to guide you along the way. And I could see that for sure. I don't really
yeah,
see him kind of like what you're saying as like the actual leader, but I could see him being that person that they go to, almost like a Professor X kind of. Like sometimes Professor X will get out there on the battlefield and stuff, but he's almost there kind of just to guide the X-Men a lot of the time.
yeah. I think that the trouble with a vision type leader would be almost what we fall into with Invincible with Robot. Like that's kind of what I would see that leadership look like, and it's not great. It's not really
Yeah.
inspiring. It's not really like unifying. It's cold. It's and like you need a leader to be inspiring. You need to be
Yeah.
a leader to be someone that you would fight for, you would die for, and that's going to be there with you, not someone who's just calculating the odds. So I definitely get what you're saying. I don't think I see him as a leader, but he may be thrust into that position because he is the oldest, smartest, best person in the room, most
Yeah.
powerful. Because he's been a little wimpy boy in the last few Marvel films.
Yeah.
He got sidelined for the entirety of Infinity War because I think he's just too strong for them to really know what to do with him.
Yeah. Which he has some good moments. I think he has some great moments too in WandaVision. Like I love the
Oh
scene
yeah,
where the White Vision is like choking out the Scarlet Witch and he just kind of shows up and just like nails him into the building. Like I love those moments of Vision where he almost is like the Sentry, right? He doesn't know his own strength, which I think Vision would know his own strength more than Sentry would. But kind of to that extent. Like you really more so Marvel writers don't know how to use that strength yet. And I think that's kind of why we've seen Sentry already be sidelined is because it is hard to just throw that character out there and be like, all right, well, who can beat him? So I think it's
yeah,
an interesting thing for that. We kind of have the same theory with what's her name from Secret Invasion, Gaia. Like they made her like the most powerful being in the Marvel universe, pretty much, but they don't know what to do with her, so we just haven't seen her. So I'm
yeah.
interested to see kind of
I
where
hope she
that
goes away. Go away.
that's Doom's first.
Go away, Gaia.
That's the first Doom death we see him
Oh
kill
yeah, yeah. Don't kill Thor. Kill freaking
kill
Gaia.
Gaia.
Yeah, she is useless. She is not needed. That is some of the worst writing. Some of the
Yeah.
worst writing in all of movies. Like period. Not
Would you have liked
Marvel
it better?
movies.
Would you have liked it better if instead of Gaia, it was Nick Fury that took on all those powers? Do you
No,
think that would have been better? No, you just don't like
no,
it at
because we
all.
can't kill Nick Fury. We can kill Gaia. Like we need Nick Fury. Like that's a name. That's a character. And if they would have done a Super Scroll, I would have been fine with it. Like give them four powers. Give them four powers. Yes, make them
Not
strong.
all of
Like
them.
it's okay to be strong. Don't don't give them everything. And then on
Yep.
top of that, you're telling me not only does she have all the power, she also learned magic. That's the most frustrating. Like not only did you get the genetic code, but you also got the jewelry and the magic abilities, which is not a natural ability. That is a learned behavior.
Well, and speaking of leaders, Nick Fury, he's a leader. I'll tell you
He is
what,
a leader. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that guy knows how to lead. So, speaking of leaders, let's talk about another leader of a completely different universe, completely different topic. DC and James Gunn came out here recently and announced the name of the next Superman movie, which is Man of Tomorrow. Now, DC stuff's going crazy. I still continue to hear just amazing things about Peacemaker season 2. I know neither of us have watched it yet.
Mm.
But DC hype is just continuing to grow. It feels like they're able to steal the headlines away from Marvel right now just about any time they want to. What do you make of them going ahead and announcing the next Superman sequel before we have a Batman, before we have a lot of characters really? I mean, if you think about what the DC universe consists of right now, it's a Superman movie, a Supergirl movie, and another Superman movie. Like that's really the big headlines that they have. Obviously, we have like the Clayface and we have like the Lantern Show. There's a few other things, but right now it really just seems to be filled with Superman.
I'm all about it. Give it
Yep.
to me. Right? Like I think this is James Gunn understanding. understanding that these characters have limited time. These actors have limited time to play these roles. You can't play them at your peak forever. And you got to get them out. If you have like grand plans for a massive universe, let's get it rocking. Let's get it
Mm,
rolling. Let's put them out there and let's get the characters that we want to have a connection with. We want to have a connection with Superman. Yes, we want a Batman, but we're getting another Batman
yeah.
in the Reeves universe. And there's some things that say he may be coming in that Robert Pattinson may be coming into this. Um, so I did see a little clip from Peacemaker that they did drop Gotham.
The
They
police
did drop
department,
a
I think, is what it was, right?
no, I think one of the characters wanted to move to Gotham or something.
Okay.
Just a name drop. But
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
In Clayface,
Maybe that's what I saw.
the set designs look a lot like the Reeveverse. Now that could be that they were planning it to be in the Reeveverse and now they're switching it up. So and also police look all the same. Like it's a
Yeah.
badge, right? So
Yeah.
uh so
Black and white
um
car.
not too much we can put there in the stakes. But yeah, no, I love it. I think it's really good decision on him to get them out in the forefront. We're getting the Lantern Show. So we're already getting
Mhm.
some heavy hitters. We've got Hawk Girl. We've got to see her already once. She's apparently in season 2 of Peacemaker. Guy Gardner. Now we're getting the Lantern Show, which is going to bring in more characters. Then we're rolling with another Superman. This is the way to do it. This is the way to get your heavy hitter, the best superhero, Superman, like in DC Comics, into the forefront. Not my favorite. I want a Flash. I want the Green Lanterns. I want Kyle Rayner, which isn't coming, sadly. But it's good to get those in the forefront. So solid move by James Gunn.
Now, one thing you mentioned, Gardner, Hot Girl, and them. Did you see? We obviously didn't watch season one of Peacemaker, but I have seen how the season one ends. I don't
Yeah.
know. Have you seen that? Okay,
Yeah.
so spoiler alert for maybe those that haven't watched Peacemaker. Here's your second or two to click off here. But James Gunn went ahead and retconned the end of Peacemaker season one because originally it was the Snyderverse Justice League that meets with Peacemaker, and he changed it to his Justice Gang. In that we had Mr. Terrific, Superman, Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Supergirl actually was there to meet in the retcon. What do you take of James Gunn being willing to take a show and retcon it, like literally just straight up retcon it? It's the same scene, but he changed the characters. Do you like that proactivity of him, or do you kind of wish he? Does that make you nervous for the future?
Not at all. Nope. I being able to say we make mistakes is a good thing.
Hmm.
Like you can make a mistake and you can retcon something. Like and I hope that Marvel takes that same play. We just talked about Gaia.
Yeah.
Like I will forgive you if you don't touch it again. Right? Like retcon it out. Like that didn't happen. That was a different universe. That was something else. Like I'm good with that. Um and so I love the fact that he was like, "You know what? I didn't realize how much of this I was going to have moving forward. I didn't realize they were going to give me the reins. I made that. It was funny clip. It had zero impact on the show apparently. Like it was just thrown in for a joke. It doesn't change anything apparently. So that's what I would say. I would say, "Hey, good on you for doing what you want to do and you're creating a universe. You have these characters that you love that apparently a lot of other people love and they want to keep seeing them. So I'm good with it. I think it was a wise choice. What about you?
I like it. I think, especially for universe like continuity, it makes so much sense. I would have hated for this to eventually been one of those things gets brought up as to why the DC universe is kind of missing something or there's discrepancies in it. I like that he just went ahead and retconned it, put his characters in there that he's going to be using for the future. That's what I would have done. I would have done the exact same thing. And I'm kind of
Hmm.
the same boat as you. Like, if you do make a mistake, you can fix it. Like no one is going to be upset about it for the most part unless you're a fan of why how it was before. I like it. I love the
No,
proactivity. I love the willingness to make it his universe, which he seems very adamant about doing right now is
oh
making
yeah.
everything the way he wants it to do. So I like it.
Yeah, it's his boat and he's the captain. Like he
Yeah.
he has some vision. And I love what he's doing with it. I also like the inclusion of Supergirl. I think that's
Yep.
really cool. Not a traditional like front runner of the Justice League. And I know this is the Justice Gang. So, not near as cool. But I like it. I also like Mr. Terrific. I think we need to see more of him. I hope he gets some front run, like some love in the front and center, because his character in Superman was one of the best. One of the best by it, for sure. Like I'd much rather see more Mr. Terrific than Guy Gardner.
Oh, interesting. Because I agree. I love the Mr. Terrific character. I did like Guy Gardner a lot. I found myself
Man,
chuckling about his jokes. I love his Green Lantern and just how everyone like kind of thinks he's a joke, but he kind of always gets the job done, you know. So I like that aspect of
he's
him.
just a jerk.
He is. It is funny though. It's like funny jerk stuff. I
Yeah.
like him. Now you did bring up the Robert Pattinson thing, which this is something we haven't talked about in a while. But I did see a clip recently, which this has been one of our fan casts here on the podcast, of Alan Ritchson looking real big. Do you think there is still a theory or a chance of him being the Batman for the DC universe? Or do you think with some of these things that we're seeing with Clayface maybe be taking place in the Reeveverse or the Gotham universe that we've already seen, do you think Robert Pattinson's kind of gained more of an edge there? Or do you think there is still a chance it's someone else?
I personally don't think it's. I don't think he's going to bring in Pattinson. I
Okay.
don't think that universe jives as well with what we have developed already. Like that universe was pretty flushed out in the pink one. And
Yeah.
so like maybe he does, but I think they go away from that. And then Alan Ritchson said himself, he's like, hey, I think there's a place for me in the DC. I've talked to James Gunn, but I'm not Batman.
Hmm.
And so like I don't know if he's gonna be Batman. It would be really cool for him to reprise his role as Aquaman and do it right.
Would you like him as an Aquaman?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think. I think Aquaman I think he actually would play Aquaman really well.
Now, here's my argument for the Robert Pattinson thing. A lot of people think that James Gunn has kind of nerfed Superman, right? We've seen Supermen that are a
Okay.
lot stronger than he is. We thought for the longest time we were going to need someone like Alan Richardson to be Batman to
Oh,
almost
to go up
compete
against him.
with Superman, right? We've thought that for such a long time. But James Gunn has almost made it evident that he doesn't want Batman versus Superman. I feel like he's really going the route of a lot of the old comics that they were friends. Like they liked working
Yeah.
together. They might have had their indifferences and stuff, but they ultimately were like relied on each other. And I feel like Robert Pattinson obviously isn't as strong as we've seen Batman before. He's probably one of the weaker Batmen, right? We've seen stuff like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
um what's his name from the Batman versus Superman? I'm drawing a blank on the actor's name. Um
Ben
oh,
Affleck?
what's his Yeah, Ben Affleck. He was a big dude. Like he looked like he was ready to go up against Superman. Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson isn't that. He's a more methodical, more detective oriented Batman, which I think kind of could play towards, maybe he does fit into the DC universe a little bit more than what we originally thought was going to be needed.
I think they could draw him in.
Hmm.
Uh I'm curious how he does with that universe. And we both loved the pink one.
Yeah.
Like like
Yeah.
I that was a good show. If we can get like if they do tie that in, that bumps this universe up already.
Yeah.
Already it gives it some more life. It gives it some more prestige because that was so good. But I don't know if they're gonna bring him in.
Well, I think another point that might benefit the theory of it getting brought in is you think about, we've talked about recently how Clayface is a horror movie, right?
Mm,
Superman is like the family friendly, everyone can go watch it movie. Batman's kind of, you're getting into the rated R aspect of what DC could be with, the drug dealing and, the killing and all that stuff. And we've kind of talked about recently how the DCU seems like it wants to have a movie or a show for everybody. Every type of audience has something they can watch. So I think that's another thing that could kind of, maybe make it a little more easy to incorporate is here, you already have this awesome world that does kind of have that rated R vibe going for it with the gore and the blood and all that stuff to kind of get people that are looking for that type of content into it a little bit more rather than the family friendly stuff with Superman.
yeah, I just think you want Batman to be accessible by everyone.
Okay.
Like he's a little kid character. Like that's something that kids dress up at Halloween. Like and I get it. It's cool to have these like very mature moments and cool stuff.
Hmm.
And I think the Penguin did that great. And it gave it like this dark nitty gritty, like it has to be TVMA.
Hmm.
And I think it did it well. But I think for like a movie that we're gonna be seeing and we're gonna be watching, I think especially for like taking families to the movies, and I've been proven wrong time and time again that the American public does not care about the ratings, and they will drag their 6-year-old to go watch Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's
Yeah.
sickening to me, but like I understand they don't care. But at the end of the day, like you're isolating an entire group of people who wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
And so, you know, there's movies that I can take my kids to that I'll go watch in the theater that I wouldn't watch if I couldn't because we're family oriented and we want to take them in. It's harder to get to the theater without them. So personally, I think the Batman stays PG-13. I don't think that's like a reason to bring in Pattinson into this universe, but uh he could. Obviously, he does not care about the younger audience too much with what I've been seeing from Peacemaker. So,
Yeah.
he clearly has his own sense of dark humor, and he loves to show it. So, he may get the clean, like you said, with Superman and Katie bar the door for everyone else.
I think it's also interesting to think about like maybe Peacemaker is that rated R project, like I was just talking about. Maybe that's going to be
Mm.
what he uses, and he doesn't need Batman to be that. So maybe he does make Batman more family oriented. I'll pose one more Batman question to you.
Okay.
When do you think we get any actual news on Batman? Because it seems like he is asked that question all the time. He makes it constantly known that he's excited for what the Reeves universe is going to be, but he doesn't ever say much about what his vision for Batman is. Do you think we're still quite a ways away from it? Because you did just mention how let's keep the ball rolling with the Superman stuff. We have the actors, it's on fire, people are wanting it and asking for it, but people are really wanting and asking for that Batman. So how long do you think he can keep fans waiting for that?
I don't know. He's announced he's doing Brave and the Bold.
Hmm.
He is doing that. We know that's where he's going with it. He's got his Robin, like he wants to get that rocking. So I would say it's closer to 20 because when's Reeves coming out? 2027?
I think, and Superman, Man of Tomorrow is 2027. So that's two big DC projects that year.
And he's not going to release it in the same year. He said he would not do that. And when
Hmm.
he was asked that in an interview I saw, he seemed almost frustrated by the timeline because he didn't say it immediately. He was like, "Oh, yeah, wouldn't do that in the same year." Like he
Hmm.
paused for it. So I'm curious if he was anticipating doing it that year because Reeves should have came out next year
Yeah.
and he was so slow with it. Now I feel like James Gunn's probably frustrated that he announced that he's doing Brave and the Bold so early while all this other stuff is going on. But he's got to handle the brand right.
Yeah.
He knows the backlash from the Snyderverse. A lot of people love the Reevesverse, and he doesn't want to do them dirty like he already did Henry Cavill. He did some of the like Gal Gadot, like some of these other like leaders that like he wants to keep the fan base happy. And even though Batman would make the fan base happy, you would also polarize an entire other group of people that was really wanting this second Batman. So I think we hear something like rumors in 2027 with a full announcement and maybe release in 2028.
So you brought up another character that posed another DC question for me. Do you think we ever see Wonder Woman in the DC universe, or do you think that's real far down the road? Because the Justice Gang that we've got so far is really pretty narrow in its scope, right? We have two Supermans, basically with Superman, Supergirl. Mr. Terrific's never been like a big character for DC. We have a Lantern, which that makes sense, which we didn't have previously in the Justice League. And we have Hawkgirl, who is definitely not like that caliber of character. Usually we think of the Justice League. It is Aquaman, it is Flash, it's Batman, the big DC characters. Do you think we get some of those people, or do you think it's going to be a while till we get some of these more well known DC characters?
So, who was the girl in Creatures Commando?
Um,
Who had like the was it Cersei? Was it what was
I
her
think
name?
she.
Circe?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Or something like that. But so she was from Wonder Woman's I'm drawing a blank
The
on
Amazonian thing.
yeah.
I know what
That's
you're talking
I
about. Yeah.
wanted the mascara, the mascara.
Yeah.
Um, she was from there, so we already have one of her race in the DC universe.
Hmm.
So I could see her being hinted at and talked about and maybe rumored about with a little bit of the timeline, probably a Batman, where it's like, hey, we have some of these other things coming up. That's a lot of like we've had Wonder Woman, we've had that. It's time for Supergirl to shine. I don't, we have Hawk Girl. We want to make sure that we have all of that going on. So I think we probably see her on the same timeline as Batman. I think it's a few years
Okay.
out
Gotcha.
with maybe some
I think
rumors.
I just think it's so interesting because the DC universe it's a weird start when you think about the characters that
Mhm.
have been
Yeah.
introduced to us for such a big, comic title like DC, right? Like Creature Commandos in and of itself. Kind of strange that we got that before we got like an animated anything else really. Like it does make
Yeah.
sense. Like I'm not upset by it, thought the show was great. But like you would almost think we would have gotten like a new animated Justice League or something like that, something that's
Yeah.
super kid friendly. Kind of because that's just how it's been in the past. But that also might be a reason why James Gunn is straying away from that, is because he doesn't want to do it how it's been done already. And that's been proven to not be effective. So it kind of does make sense if he wants to introduce some newer characters.
When he also has HBO, right? It's
Yeah.
owned by HBO. So HBO's audiences have always been a little bit more on the edgier side.
Hmm.
So I think he's just leaning into everything that he has. He has people that have access to this are already watching HBO stuff. They are, this is the universe that he likes to tell. James Gunn has a dark sense of humor. He really does come from like a past of like he's done some great stuff that is friendly for younger audiences, but like he's like he's twisted. He's twisted in his humor. So he really likes this stuff and he likes telling this stuff. So you can even see that from like Suicide Squad and then the what
Hmm.
he's choosing to create. So I think he really got that goody two shoe vibe out with Guardians 1 and Guardians 2. And then
Hmm.
he really got like, he was like, okay, I can tell dark stories in Guardians 3 and people are going to love it. Like, because he really did bridge the gap from, you know, like, there was some kids in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I'm like, that's young. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
rough movie to read to watch. Like it's cruel. So I mean I think that's just who he is. I think that's what he's gonna lean into.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he like you said, he's doing what he wants to do. And it feels like when he was working with Marvel, he had so many guidelines, so many, chains shackled around him. And DC just essentially just said, do what you want to do. We don't care. Just make it profitable and we'll be
Yep.
happy. And it seems like he's taking full advantage of that. He's creating the stuff he wants to create. And I'm excited for it because it's almost as if what we've wanted with Marvel for a long time, and I think it's been one of the complaints with Marvel, is sometimes there's too many creators and too many people wanting to tell a story a certain way. We hear it all the time about like the Russo brothers and the way they change stories. James Gunn and the Russo brothers actually butted heads about what
Yep.
the Russo brothers did with the Guardians, right? So I think he is loving the fact that he has the final say in everything and he gets to kind of dictate it, which sometimes can be frustrating if you don't like this type of story that that person produces, but it does overall help the continuity of making something like seamless.
Yeah. No, I definitely think he's enjoying that. And he is a great creator. Like he is a great
Yeah.
visionary. He is having fun with this. And it's clear in his projects that like he's enjoying himself. Like he's having
Yeah.
good. And you want your creators to enjoy what they're doing. A lot of times when people don't enjoy what they're doing or are being told what to do, that's when the projects kind of fall off. I think of Iron Man 2, you know, they were told like, nope. Like they really had a fun story with Demon in a Bottle that they really wanted to chase. That was like, hey, this is going to be different. This is going to be like, we're really going to have a lot to do with this. And Marvel said no. And they gave them exactly what they wanted. It was delicious. It was the same. Like it was still great. But everyone was like, I should have done something different. They're like, we tried to do something different. And that's
Yeah.
really when we saw the departure. I blanked on his name, director of Iron Man.
Oh, I know who you're. I remember it. Yeah. I don't
He
know his
also
name either.
does. He
I'm
also
not good
does the
with names, so
Mandalorian. Dang it. But anyway, yeah, like that's when we see him, and he went off and made the movie Chef to talk about that, to say, hey, like I had a menu, it was great. I was going to do another menu, and you fired me for it. So, so it was kind of like, that was like his like exit from Marvel, kind of. Even though he's still in all the movies, but
yeah. No, I agree. Hopefully, that's something we've kind of seen get a little better with Marvel. You know, going back to the Marvel stuff, it seems like they've kind of started to get on track a little bit more and wanting to tell a continuous story with things.
John
Um,
Favreau. Dang it, there it
John
is.
Favreau, yeah. I don't know how
Dude, I
I'm
was
terrible with
glitching so
names.
hard.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry to
for some,
interrupt
when
you.
you said with Mandalorian, the first thing I always think of is Dave Filoni. I was like,
Yeah.
Dave Filoni didn't work on any Marvel
Yeah,
projects,
what
at
in the
least to my
world?
knowledge. Maybe he's
Yeah.
done something, but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
he's
I
like
agree.
simply in the
I'm excited
past.
for that. I'm excited for the future of DC, like I'm sure you are. But yeah,
Yeah.
anything else
But it
DC
does
you wanted
does
to?
seem like Marvel, like you were saying, is maybe getting on track with their characters and creators and having
Yeah,
fun again.
yeah, that's what competition does. It's gonna force you to
No.
get better. So let's hope that it was. So, any other DC stuff you had on your mind that you wanted to discuss?
I think that's it. I think that's all the DC news I have that's willing to be shared, that is worthy of being talked about. I'm
Worth
sure there's
talking
some
about.
other stuff, but without
Now I know
watching the
you.
shows, yeah.
Yeah. Now I know you had a chance to watch the new Lilo and Stitch live action movie recently, and I know you wanted to talk a little bit about it and give us a little bit of a review, kind of what you thought of it, if it was worth coming out with a live action one, because it seems like every year we're getting a random live action Disney movie that some people think doesn't really need to happen, but some people are happy that it does. So, how did it land for you? Did you enjoy it?
So I'll keep this brief. Since you haven't watched it yet, you vowed not to watch it, right? Because of your live action remake stance, right?
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah,
I
you
hate
hate
it.
it. So
Yeah,
and
unless it's like
and
something I actually want. But like most of the time, I like animated stuff. Same thing. We've heard so many
it's good
rumors about
enough.
like people wanting the Clone Wars to be put into live action. We already have the story. Put your resources towards something else. That's always been my thought process with that stuff.
Yeah, unless the story is geared directly toward children and doesn't have anything like, and it's like, oh, this story is like good enough to be like a better, like if we could make this story better,
Hmm.
then I can be okay with that. But so often what we're seeing is great stories being turned into mediocre garbage. And that's kind of how I felt with Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is this incredible children's story. It's a amazing theme about found families, and that, what it means to be a family is that like no one gets left behind, and that we don't leave someone behind. And spoiler alerts, if you watch the movie, if you haven't watched the movie now, like my recommendation is watch the animated one. Don't watch the live action one. It's fine. It is a fine film. But as far as like the values and the fun and the good of the first one, I think they stomp all over it. The spoilers, full spoilers, here we go. The CIA agent is not the caretaker of the family. He's a separate character. There's another social worker that comes in and does the social work. Um, there is a healthcare problem that arises, that she can't pay for the healthcare bills of a medical, and the social worker's like, hey, we'll pay for it if you give us Lilo, like we can take care of all this stuff, we're what's best for her. From another side, they add a character which is Danny, which is Lilo's sisters, which I'm blanking on her name right now. um uh the crush in the first one that she's crushing all over, and he actually likes her but she's not really seeing it. She doesn't like him at all. He's fallen all over her, and she's like, I don't need no man. Um, and so his mom is in this and kind of is like a grandmother to Lilo, and it's just like, ugh. And then at the end of the movie, the sister goes to college.
Yep, I did know
They
that.
leave. They leave. It's like,
Nobody gets left behind, but I'm gonna leave y'all behind.
I'm gonna leave you with this other family that's a social worker gave you to. I'm gonna go away. Like Ohana means family. Later, marine
Yeah.
biology. Instead of pursuing my dream of working on this island and surfing and teaching surf lessons and like fighting, and that family is more important than any job you could have. They're like, screw those values. Who needs that crap?
I'm going to
Like,
college.
get yourself a degree, sister.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Like, no, like that's why we have a national debt crisis of people going to college, because they're going to college when like the values are all jacked up. Like, it is more important. Family is more important. You don't have to go to college to chase your dreams. You don't have to go to college to get a good paying job. Like, there are so many jobs out there that pay more than college degree jobs, and you don't have to go into
Yep.
$200,000 worth of debt to do it. Like, wild, absolutely wild. It's frustrating,
But
and like
yeah.
all the scenes with Lilo and Stitch, like 50% of them are cut out. The evil scientist that created Stitch is never turns good. Like, he's the bad guy the whole time. It's just
So
sad.
what you're saying is they retconned this universe in the wrong way. They did not do it justice.
Yeah, they took that. They're like, hey, let's do a live action Stitch. He'll be really cute, and we'll sell a bunch of toys. And under the guise that it's the same, for people who don't pay attention, we'll make $1 billion at the theater. And that's what they did. And so they didn't learn
Yep.
any lessons. And everyone else is probably like, oh, yeah, it's good. Like, she went to college. She got to chase her dreams. That's right. You didn't have to stay with your stinky little sister and care about your family. You got to do you, sis. That's awesome. This one's better.
Yeah. Well, guys, that is Zane's review of the live action Lilo and Stitch. I'm sorry it didn't live up to your expectations. I don't think your
It
expectations were
did.
really all that high for this one, but
Yeah, it's just like, a lot of people said it was really close to the first one, except for they took out Gantu, and I'm like,
yeah.
that's like one of the like the smaller changes. I'm gonna be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah. I saw a post about how she left them and went to college and all that stuff, and I was like, that's enough for me not to ever want to watch the movie. Like, what's the point? Like, the whole movie is literally about staying together and stuff. But no, I'm gonna leave. But well, at least you guys did get a weekly fix live action Lilo and Stitch review at some point on here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
see
came
what
out
we
on
can do.
Disney Plus this week, so if you were thinking about turning it on this weekend,
Don't
maybe just watch the animated one.
just on the
Unless you're
anime.
really anti-family and pro college, then you do it. Go for it.
Anti-family and pro college. That's a crazy one. Um, I recently did. I don't know if some of you guys saw it, maybe or not. I know you watched it today, Zane. I did my Lego Spider-Man Across the
Oh yeah,
Spider-Verse minifigure review, and I did put on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse the other night while I was doing stuff in the house. What a great movie! What a
so
great
good.
movie! It's so good. I've been wanting to rewatch it. This is not my first time rewatching it. I'd only ever seen it the
Oh,
first
okay.
time at the theater. Man, it's just such a great movie. We've been getting all the Spider-Man news with Brand New Day. It got announced that Beyond the Spider-Verse was coming out in 2027, which is going to be a stacked year for comic book movies. We've got Superman, we've got Batman, we've got Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think there's one more I might be forgetting. I thought there was a fourth
Oh,
one.
there's so many.
Yeah.
Um,
So I was like, I'm gonna watch it. That's what you should put on this weekend if you're looking for something to watch. Put on Beyond the Spider or Across the Spider-Verse because it's awesome. It is
I've
so
tried.
good. But
I have tried. I've tried to put that on for Charlie like 3 times, and every time Green Goblin's just too scary, and I'm like, I can't do this. She's too young. Stop, Zane. Stop. Dude, like,
since you wouldn't really know that it's a sequel, Across the Spider-Verse might be better because there isn't the scary Green Goblin in it. It's just Spot, and Spot's really not that scary.
yeah,
He gets a little mean, but he's not Green Goblin. So
yeah.
maybe that one might get her a little bit
Maybe,
better, but
maybe just wait.
maybe. Yeah, just
Maybe
wait.
we just wait until she's age appropriate to watch stuff.
It actually wants to watch it in the order it's supposed to be watched, but
She's asked to watch it, which is sad. Like, she's like, I think I won't be scared this time, and I'm like,
and then he shows up.
I I know you think that, but it is quite scary, and I don't think you're ready.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well,
So,
that's about all I've got for this episode of the podcast. Zane, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we hop
oh
off here?
man, I think we're good.
All right. Well, guys, if you enjoyed another episode of the podcast, hopefully you're watching us on YouTube where we have the video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not on YouTube and you're listening to us on Spotify or anything like that, make sure to rate us. We're always looking for some ratings. You can comment on Spotify. Lots of ways to get in touch with us. We talked about the Discord before. All those ways are still open, and hopefully we can continue to find some better ways to make the video quality experience better for you. We're going to experiment with some stuff. Hopefully my camera quality gets a little better. It is something we do know and acknowledge. We're actively working to fix it. We're trying all sorts of stuff, just none of them have panned out yet. But we'll get there. So you'll want to be there for the day that we do get there. But
Yeah,
thank you
absolutely.
guys so
We want
yeah.
crisp, clear Jacob's face.
Yes. Eventually one day we might get there. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.